may have known him. He went to school in PV, was a principal in PV, a teacher, all the things. And so he and I still work very closely together. And one of the things that he shared with me is his role in helping coordinate with the principals and parent groups support throughout the district. Because obviously we serve a very diverse district. Schools that are in, Title I communities, schools that are not, and how schools can support each other. So last fall and this fall, I send out a list to our principals. I speak about it at our elementary meeting about just how our schools can partner with each other in ways that they can do that. And so the principals work with the parent groups, representatives from the PTOs or PTAs, and determine if they have the capacity, based on their activities and their goals for this year, if they have the capacity and desire to support a Title I school with some of the needs that they may have. Because a lot of times our families, and I don't want to generalize because we do have some very active PTO groups in our title schools, but we also know that a lot of those families just really have a lot of competing demands on their time, and they're not able to, really participate as much in school activities and PTO kinds of work that other schools can. And so if a school has a need and that parent group isn't able, from a time perspective or a resource perspective to be able to, contribute to their school, is there a way for other school PTO groups to partner with that school to support those efforts at that campus? And so I just kind of serve as a liaison among the principals. So I send out a list. A principal will work with their parent group, identify, what we have the capacity to support, and then they will link up with a buddy school. It's typically a title and a non-title type situation about opportunities where there can be a partnership. And and I know that there has been schools that have been partnered together for a really long time, and there's some relationships that have been long-standing and traditions that have established. And then, I met with Julie last week, and I noticed that there were a couple of schools that didn't have anyone yet on the list, and so she and I talked through that a little bit. And this was just from information that I collected from principals. So if the principal and the parent group hadn't had that communication, or they were a little unclear, that could have been the reason. But I just wanted you to know what we do behind the scenes to try to help with the communication and coordination. And the principals are really our best people to do that. And I try to, link the schools together to the best of my ability.
If we have a PTO that says we really want to help someone, you're the person to call.
Yeah,
yes. Hey, we want to do something for somebody. Who can we help? And then, okay.
Yep, absolutely. Are you open to that outside of UPC? That sounds great. I have somebody who is looking for a way. His business is doing a charitable donation to Palomino Elementary School to help fund their field trips. But they have a problem getting approved chaperones for these field trips because their parent community is unable to meet that need. So maybe I can talk specifically with you, or if you know who their school sponsor is, if Palomino Elementary School has a sponsorship, then I can maybe help connect the dots for them. Because he's working with somebody at Palomino, and I don't think it's the principal, I think it's somebody else. But it's good to communicate these methods if they're not utilizing them. Okay. Yes, you can reach out to me, and then I would either link you directly or link that individual with someone at the school. And if it was like a chaperoning thing and we needed to get district involved in terms of to get them to be approved for that support, then I can help coordinate that. I think it's also just asking volunteers who are already approved. Right. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you.
The VIP program sends out emails if there's chaperones. That are needed at different schools.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to have a partnership program or
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
VIP is definitely
which is a volunteer in paradise. So
it's our structured. It's our structured volunteer program here at the school or at the district where there's different layers of VIP. Some of it is like tutoring in schools, but we also have a whole chaperoning piece as well. Okay, great.
Desert Shadows Elementary partners with Palomino a lot, and we've tried to do like joint field trips so that like our Desert Shadows parents can help staff around.
Okay.
I'll get your information. That's our PTO, our PTA.
You know, one thing, 'cause like I said, I'm still relatively new to the district, and one thing I've noticed, if you watch our governing board meetings, we do approvals at most meetings for elementary field trips. So PV culture is really big at the elementary level about some amazing opportunities for kids to go out of state for various field trips. And it's a tradition here. And it's something that was new to me because that was not an experience I had in my former district. I'm like, wait, we send kids like to California in like 5th grade? Okay, and that's a thing here. So, yes. But what I've noticed is that our schools that families have the means to help support that financially are going, and our schools and our title schools don't have those experiences a lot of time. And I brought this up to Julie last week. I'm like, I don't have an answer for this, but I just want to raise awareness to this because it does bother me. And I would love for us to find a way to give those experiences to kids at Palomino or Echo Mountain. And I don't, you know, so I'm just putting that out there. So maybe we can think of some opportunities in the future.
So for our school, even though, well, so our school, we do a tax credit drive. And so instead of, you know, our parents doing it for our school, we could do it too. I mean, I can't get the principal on board. I've been trying, but we could do it for the title ones, because that's, I know they use that for.
They do. Tax credit is a big driver,
I
so.
think a few years ago, Fireside deliberately did, it took them a few years.
Yeah.
And they collected enough to be able to send another school to.
I heard that
Palomino.
too. Do you remember what school that was at?
I was-
Palomino or
Campo.
Tampa? Okay. So. I don't have anything formally prepared. It was just, you know, I just wanted to
Thank you
let
so
you
much.
know that, I'm happy to connect. And, the best person to talk to from your individual sites is the principal. And if you are looking for an opportunity to support another school, they have a list of, all the schools and what some of those activities that, the Title I schools have as a need, and also where we have some spots that are open. So start with your principal, but if, I'm here as a resource as well, and happy to answer any additional questions.
I don't know if it's exactly the location to bring this up, but a lot of feedback at Desert Shadows just regarding is the desire to keep it in Arizona.
Okay.
Like there's it's like split, like half of them are like, oh, we get to go to California, other half are like, what? Where we live first, like we don't
Right.
them out, and it's a lot, and it is so expensive, like, especially if a parent wants to go chaperone. Also, you have to pay for that as well.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's my feedback. Chaperone should be free.
I
I would go on every single one.
I know. I really think this is like one of those things that's best decided at the site, and I'm happy to work with the principal and like how to navigate that, because there are two different viewpoints on that. You know, as far as a district perspective, I know I would feel like a lot safer just, you know, keeping all our kids close by at the elementary space. But again, like I said earlier, I know it's tradition, and a lot of people really see the value and look forward to these opportunities. And so, I you know, just try to be supportive and listen and help work with our principals to navigate that.
Very mad at Boy Disney.
I know.
Those kindergartens, like,
I
I get to
know.
be experience.
And I'm like, how are we connecting this? Because
Oh.
that's the other piece with field trips. It's like, how is it connected to academics? And so Disney and Universal, they do have an academic workshop that they do as part of that experience. So I do make the teachers link it to the standards. Exactly, it's physics. And so there is this, and Disney has some imagination workshops, and they like do outside of science, they do some other elements too, incorporating the arts and whatnot. But our teachers do make a connection to learning standards.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.
All right. So our first school that is going to share is Greyhawk. We have Jill, who is going to talk about Greyhawk Gives Back.
As Jen mentioned, my name is Jill. I'm from Greyhawk PTO. For many years preceding Dorothy and I, who's also on the PTO there, the student council has done a holiday drive where we make an offer to the kids and their parents if they want to buy gifts for those at Echo Mountain School, they're able to. And then the PTO went a bit further and we coordinated a wrapping day where there's one full day in the library. We get donations of wrapping paper, gift bags. It's messy, it's crazy, it's exhausting. But at the end of the day, the kids walk away with joy. So when you're at the wrapping event, they're not just bringing in something that their parents are saying, give another thing to your teacher. Some of them are wrapping for the first time. They're talking excitedly, like, look what we got for this other student. So that's part of our holiday gift driving wrapping party, which brings cheer to the students at Echo Mountain. And then a few years ago, we were wondering what else can we do to further support the school. We learned that the front office at Echo Mountain coordinated the whole Teacher Appreciation Week. So we started collecting small gift donations, whether they're gift cards or we phrased it as, do you have anything to re-gift? So we've been able to, over the last 3 years, give a couple $1,000s of gifts to Krista Williams over at the school to be able to give her staff in a raffle form during Teacher Appreciation Week. And then we went one step further a couple years ago. So we offer them a breakfast one of the mornings throughout Teacher Appreciation Week. IHOP has a really good deal. And we're able to fund it by, I think many of you know, the clothes bin that originated here at the UPC. We got one at Greyhawk and we're bringing in maybe $20, $30 a month. So we use those funds and give it right back to Echo Mountain. There are a few other opportunities throughout the years that we've done. We've done a book drive where we reached out to parents saying, hey, do you have anything on your bookshelves that your kids aren't reading anymore? We collected them, we've given them to Echo Mountain. Another one, we have a parent who's working for Cold Stone Creamery. They offered Greyhawk to give all students an ice cream at the end of the school year. So we reached out to them saying, hey, we partner with Echo Mountain. Are you willing to do that for them as well? So last year, all the students at Echo Mountain got a Cold Stone Creamery cup. So anything that comes into our school that we feel like we can bring it to Echo Mountain, we try to think of them and offer it to them as well. So do you have anything
Lost
to?
and found, we donate to them.
The lost and found at our school, we clean it up and whatever's wearable, like we'll drop it off to their school.
We get
They-
a ton of-
Yeah, well, because our schoolyard, like many schools, are used on the weekend, so there's like a lot of jackets, a lot of things up on the field, so we give that to them. And then Dorothy originated most of this at our school with Echo Mountain, so. Thank you.
I'm a Greyhawk parent, or I was a few years ago, but the winter gift drive is fun because the kids also then go outside and they work with the student council at the schools and put it actually in the bin so they see, when they go to the library, they only see their class.
Yeah.
But then when they go to drop it off before it's gonna get delivered, I mean, they see the massive amounts of boxes.
Yeah, that's in that picture over there, that's the student council.
Oh, I didn't see
with
that
the
one.
pictures
My
over
bad, I missed
there.
Monica who runs the, okay, sorry.
But yeah, I
Yes,
think
so-
bringing it to the kid level and letting them wrap at the wrapping event is really beneficial because like I said, otherwise it's just another bag they're bringing in for their parents. This way they get to, you know, have joy amongst themselves with what they're doing for somebody else. So, yeah, thank you.
I'm just gonna ask, Dorothy, or I was gonna ask if you had a particular person on your PTO board that is, like, do you have a position of liaison to Echo Mountain that somebody volunteers?
Dorothy and I co-chair the Greyhawk Gives Back, which is about 6 opportunities that we offer the students to volunteer back to the community and the school. So through this program, our association with Echo Mountain is one of those 6 things, and Dorothy and I are the liaison with Christy Williams over there.
Cool.
So they don't have a PTO from what I understand, if so, it's very limited. So a lot of what the staff are offered during teacher appreciation is from the front office staff. So we want to help them out in any way with that we can.
Any other questions for Jill? Going on myself.
Thank
All
you.
right, Amy.
Sorry, I don't have photos. I'm not as cool as you do. I'm at Wildfire Elementary School and we are partnered with Indian Bend and we have been for a very long time, from what I understand. Again, I'm not running, so I don't have the sweet photos, but we have three main things we do during the school year. Number one is that we didn't do it this year because if you don't know, Indian Bend is getting a new building, which is amazing, awesome. But things have been a little hectic for them this year. But we do a back to school drive for them every year, generally speaking. And so when our families come in and give up the folders, the notebooks, etc., we also have bins out that are prepared for Indian Bend, and then parents will donate items there as well. And then all of this is partnered with our STUGO. Our STUGO at our school is our sixth graders are our elected representatives. And so they are the people who really fuel a lot of this for us, like the labor portion of it. And then they take those over and they donate those to Indian Bend at the beginning of the school year. And then at Thanksgiving every year, the social worker at Indian Bend provides us with a number of families. And then we at our school have parents donate mashed potato, like instant mashed potatoes, canned goods like for vegetables. And then we provide each family with a gift card that can purchase them a fresh dessert or pie. And those are all bagged up again by STUGO. I think we also do mac and cheese. I'm not remembering everything that goes in. And then those are delivered to Indian Bend and the social worker gives those to the families who need them. In previous years, we have partnered also with a grocery store who provides the turkey for the family. And so that is something that we've been like really proud of doing every year. And then the last big thing we do for them at the end of the and during the holiday season is we have a gift request. And again, that social worker at Indian Bend gives us literally a list of families. So it'll tell you a child's age. So it'll say like boy 13 and like the things he's interested in and his like Christmas wish list. And then if a family is selected, they put their entire family on that wish list. And so like they could have like daughter, like 3 months old, like onesies, diapers. And so our families are able to go and sign up for each individual child. And then at the same time, we also request gift cards or cash donations from families who do not want to shop. And then our PTO fulfills anything that is missing. So we never leave a child off the list, right? So everyone's going to get something from us. And at the same time, we've also done with those holiday lists, we've also done wrapping paper drives, very similar vibes, except we just give the wrapping paper to the family with their gift so that the parents are able to wrap it themselves. So they can decide if they want it to be like an unwrapped holiday gift or a wrapped gift from the family. So that's their decision. And so those are the big things we do. As far as I know, we do not help their teachers. And now I'm wondering if we should. But, oh.
In the past, you guys have.
Okay, Melinda's our former wildfire queen.
In the past, Wildfire did the welcome back breakfast.
Yeah.
for the
Oh, yes.
teachers
That's right.
as well.
And that wasn't, again, they had a weird year, so we did not do anything this year.
As well as something during visual meal during teacher.
Okay.
Week, and then they also did treats for the testing.
Okay.
And
Wow.
and
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think the other thing we have offered, we've never, as far as I know, had this fulfilled, but we also have hold money for them every year. If they choose to have a representative, we also pay for their representative. If they do not provide a person, we don't pay for it because they don't have a person here, but we always have a fund available to pay for their UPC membership should they find a parent who can attend. And I think that's like our, yeah, and that's our big points. Oh, yes.
how involved are the students in?
So we have a person who we call it our snowman giving treat. That's what our holiday event is called. So there is a parent PTO volunteer who is oversees that. And then the students will again, like help collect and like make sure everything's together. And then sometimes they deliver and sometimes the parent volunteer delivers to the school. For Thanksgiving bags, they are very involved. So the little cute Stugo exec board comes to the school. And they stay after school and we have all of our bags ready to go. And they count up every single thing and they ensure that every single bag has all of the items it's supposed to have in it, is double checked. And then if the parent volunteer adds the gift card as the last step. And they do that and takes them a couple hours to get all that set. And so they're really helpful for that. And then I don't know for the, I think they, and they do the, I don't know if they count the supplies at the beginning of the school year, but they generally are the ones who like manage it, check it, and then set it up for delivery. And they really like doing it.
If you count them, just
Yeah,
so there's
we know.
some type of, like a way on social media to say, oh, thank you for contributing
Yeah.
to these things. And, it is definitely a partnership with the Stugo. Has worked out great, and it's the kind of thing, like back in the beginning, back when Disney did the volunteer hours, things, then you would submit the project for, like this is one of your 100-hour projects or whatever, because you have enough kids providing enough times, but then that's what we would get our tickets for our auction, like way back when, but it works out nice because it's not just the parent community.
Yeah.
It is the students that are helping other students, and so it becomes a whole family helping families.
And for Thanksgiving, we sometimes, depending on the school year, like last year, I think, what we actually did is, we tailored each type of food to a grade. So we requested, if possible, like 3rd grade, please bring in canned green beans. Like 5th grade, please bring in instant mashed potatoes. And so that way it's easier and the parent is just, instead of like, what am I gonna donate? They're focused on, this is what my child's class has requested. And then depending on what the room parent wants to do, they can make a sign up genius or whatever, but basically each grade is gonna be responsible for one part of that Thanksgiving meal. Yes, we don't get 8,000 mac and cheeses and nothing else. So that way we know we have what we need for the number of families that we have been requested. And the only other thing I will say is I do feel that unfortunately, our school population has declined. So I know last year, and at the same time, we know the economy is rough. So last year, we had more families than we'd ever had on our holiday list before, and our own families were struggling. So the PTO did a bigger pull than normal. So if anyone's feeling generous in here at holiday time, maybe I'll pop that. I'm just joking, sign of genius, but that is something to keep in mind just for like what your population is currently doing. Yeah.
Is there a vendor that you guys would use for the, like, sponsoring their lunches or breakfast or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, we use IHOP, but I'm always looking for other things to offer. The one that we got the biggest discount from was Salad and Go.
We love them. We use them for teacher week too.
breakfast. Because we would do the sandwiches, the wraps, and then cut them in half. And then just supplement all of that with, cut up fruit. But not like the trays that you buy at the store that's already pre-made, but like. So
We
maybe
cut it.
on our part.
And I'm gonna give another plug to Einstein Bagels because, they do, my daughter works there when she's home from school, but they throw away the bagels at the end of the day. They have to. And so the one in Cave Creek, the Scottsdale one does have someone every day, but the one in Cave Creek, our UPC outreach, is picking up once a month to bring to different schools and whatnot, but you could always call the Cave Creek Ferry. And they're all independently owned. So the owner of the Scottsdale one is also the owner of the Cave Creek one, but they are always happy to, if you arrange it ahead of time, and then you could go to Costco for $10 and get this huge, cream cheese, because they can't donate that because they don't throw that away, but the bagels and sometimes muffins, so, highly recommend, and there's probably a lot more other restaurants that you don't even know about, so like use resources that are out there and ask. This could always be told no.
My last school was a Title I school, and I was in charge of like looking for donations, and I threw that out every which way I could, because I think that can help people want to maybe select you more because you are an underserved population. So Trader Joe's, for anyone who doesn't know, they're all kind of individually owned, but if you go and you basically need to have your 501(c), so everything you're trying to ask for, make sure they know that this can be a tax write-off for their business. But they will donate usually about $60 worth of groceries, or if you have a specific request, you can request specific items. And we were able to use it, they usually do it like once, they'll choose your organization once a year. But that could maybe go towards groceries for a breakfast you might provide or something, or you could say it could be, for teacher appreciation, they create like a little gift, like things they like to go and make them, and you could say, here's a grocery bag of Trader Joe's treats or whatever. Costco does, each Costco too selects a certain amount of people, and it's usually $100 to $200 gift cards. You just have to fill out, a lot of it's just filling out the application. But if you're sponsoring a school that is a Title I would just include that in your application, because I do think people are looking to donate to those specific causes.
Oh, I do have one other comment I just want to make based on an experience last year with our teachers, luckily not our school. But if you are doing gift cards, especially for one of these, like for your sister school, I recommend that you're purchasing those yourself and not ordering them off Amazon. Because there's oftentimes Amazon cards end up being empty or fake. And while your teachers at Teacher Appreciation Week can go, what the heck, give me a new card, our sister school families cannot do that. So in the situation where you are giving them gift cards, it's really best, like we go and purchase them at Albertsons or Safeway or Fry's or whatever from that grocery store themselves, and that way they're safe, you know that that money is gonna be for your families. Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right, our Sonoran Sky rep was unable to make it today, but she wanted to share that they do partner out with Cactus View and sometimes help with Eagle Ridge as needed. So if any school is looking for a school that they want to help, Eagle Ridge could use someone, but they have done donations for the school nurse at Eagle Ridge, like with, that might do like a sock drive or use the clothes. And then they also do a school drive for Cactus View. So I don't have pictures, but that is what Sonoran Sky does. And then,
should have gone last. She showed us up with her beautiful.
I know. Well, okay, so I know this isn't a school, but it's kind of school, and this is what I could kind of share on part of the Pinnacle Hockey Program. The last few years, we partner with Palomino Intermediate, because one of our hockey players' mom works there. And the beginning of the season, we do a school supply drive, and we bring all the supplies, and the kids bring them to the school themselves. So we collect them, and then the students drive or get dropped off at the school, and they meet at the front and get to deliver them themselves. And then in the holidays, which I think is really fun, because some of these Title I schools don't have PTOs, and the teachers, they're on limited budgets. They don't have money to put on a big class party like, a lot of our schools can. We did start with, we had 4 classrooms and just got to be too much. So now we have 4 hockey teams. We do a JV D3 together combined and a D1, D2 combined. And the students go and we adopt a classroom and they do a party for the kids. So the teacher doesn't have to pay a thing. We use our, we ask for money. We do a craft, we play bingo, they get prizes. And then we also do kind of like the snowman where students could pick a child to buy a present for, and they are given a wish list ahead of time. So the kids in their classroom can write down what 3 things they want. And there's no, we try to stay within the limits of like $20. And so they don't like, some kid gets like $100 of gifts and the other one gets like $5. But then they get to open it up at the building, at their school during the party, and the faces, to see them light up is worth it all. And to see, and the kids, the players feel good because, they don't always get the opportunity to be, they see that they're doing that, but they don't get to see like the physical thing. And I used to teach at a homeless school, and having the kids open up the gifts and playing with them was a huge thing, because a lot of times if we had a birthday closet and they had to open it up there, because sometimes the family will sell it to get money. And if it's already used, they can't sell it. I mean, it's a sad thing, but I don't think that's the case for this, but they get to open it, and the players get to see that, and so that's always fun. And whatever, I think one of the highlights, if you ask the students, the players, what their favorite thing besides playing hockey and winning and losing or fighting on the ice or whatever it is the things that we do to give back to Palomino. And so, yes, it's not a school, but it's still ideas that you can do. You can maybe, I don't know about taking students to another school, but, putting on parties for the teachers, classes, I mean.
Or like a good field trip, like that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really fun.
Well, at the high schools, they get out earlier, so
Right,
they
yeah,
can
right, that's-
go.
So we always
yeah.
do it after, because they're high school, they're usually half day. But, and we try to do it on a day where maybe, I think in the fall, in the winter, sorry, right before fall, winter break, high school, is out half days or on like the last two where K-8 is in school. So the players are not missing school to go do this. Like they are all already up because they're all in high school and they all can come and if they want. And then one of our players dresses up as the Grinch and, so yes,
This is made for outreach,
yeah.
but, so I was talking to some high school students at Pinnacle that came to our event at Wildfire and were volunteers. And there's a way where, so NHS and NJHS
Yeah.
are all soliciting volunteer service
Correct.
hours.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them and also the lady in our PTO who organized it, she said every 15 spots were filled within like minutes because it was just communicated really well, that was specifically with the Pinnacle High School. So just ways to help like workflow between different schools and even like elementary schools are now idolizing these high school students that they can, it's like a model student for them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's just maybe us were the connector to our, like telling outreach programs or maybe like, Pinnacle, hey, this school might have some needs if you need to get some service hours. That is a worthy.
Because like we had eighth graders at Explore and
Yeah.
high schoolers at the Greyhawk Fall Fest. So there's so many outlets and so many people out there that are there to help.
Well, also
That
for
just people don't know
PTOs
about.
here,
Yeah.
know that you can reach out to like your Peter High School and request volunteers to help man events, like fundraising of any events you want to do. And that's.
Those Pinnacle NHS students are like our, every big event.
I'm biased because I.
Yeah.
Right.
I have this weird idea that so you know how the high schools have like the prom boutiques that they can go shop at? So I was cleaning out my own 7-year-old's costume closet and had, like all these brand new costumes. And I thought, would it be cool if Fireside or some of our elementary schools did like a drive of gently used or like new costumes? And then for these other schools set up like a Halloween shop where the kids could come in and we could have our high school students. But you'd have to go do it at their school. Like it would have to be something where they could go in and do it. So it felt too big for me to take on, but I was like, this is so, like, it's free, right? It's free. Like, we don't have to put money into it. The amount of costumes.
Yeah.
That go in the trash or in Goodwill that are like brand new, right? So I was like, in my mind, you do the drive at your school in November, hold on to them and then go set it up at the other school early October. It'll just be this, ongoing thing.
Oh, like
that's all right.
It's a really good idea. All right, so this time, if you have a few more minutes, if anyone wants to share ideas that they've been thinking about that you could do.
So I remember, I think someone here shared it, because it's not my own experience, but that some of the high school teams, and I think the sports teams can be a really great, especially with their feeder schools, and I know
Football
feeder schools
programs.
is like a really awesome thing to think about for your schools. Is that some of the teams would go and like read stories to read stories to the younger classrooms, like maybe during the reading week or something like that. Yeah. And so it's a great way to utilize and, so maybe find some partner schools that you could send teams over to, and the kids, get the good feeling of giving back. And the younger kids get to see and idolize the older kids, so.
Anybody else have any ideas to help each other? Okay, well, on that note, thanks for coming. Next month will be our meeting with a detective from Phoenix and talking about AI and
things that are happening in social media and how to keep our kids safe. And so do not miss that one. It will be a good one. Yes.
Can we create a Google list of, like, I don't know, either ideas or vendors, like